elevator pitch, I'll say, okay, I'm a Norwegian with blue hair. I love tech. Started a tech company 4.5 years ago that is focused on prevention of food waste and increased food traceability. I've been working since the age of 12, mainly in the food industry, but also working in the construction industry, flying drones and building bridges in 3D. But the majority of my work has been within restaurants, hotels, grocery stores, gas stations, and so on, next to studying. So I have a master's degree within land management, which basically means if you have any dispute with your neighbors regarding your property lines, I would be the one to negotiate who's right and wrong.
Okay. And what is Total Control?
So it's a tech company, and its focus and the vision of Total Control is to transform the food industry for the better by eliminating food waste and increasing food traceability from farm and to fork. So quite the ambition, but we have actually managed to get further along than I expected in 4.5 years. So we've worked mainly with hotels, restaurant chains, kindergartens, nursing homes, and helped them prevent food waste from happening and also increase their data insight when it comes to where does their food be produced and where has it traveled and what can they do to ensure that they increase their basically their margins. So we help them become more profitable.
Now, scare the hell out of me. How come food waste is such a big issue? Why should I, as an American, pretty spoiled lifestyle here, be concerned about food waste?
I think and as in Norway as well, we're such a rich country, so we're spoiled as heck as well. But one of the things is that we waste 1/3 of all the food that we produce every single year. And that means that...
And when you say we, you mean like worldwide, 1/3 of all the food that's made, picked, prepared, and put out for consumption is discarded?
Yeah, so those are global numbers. And it's different when it comes to the different stages of the value chain. But if you see like 33% comes from restaurant and the food service businesses, for example, majority comes from households, but that's also because households are the last level of the food value chain. So if you stop food waste in any of those levels, you will help the entire food supply chain become more sustainable and more profitable.
And how are you doing it?
So the easiest way of explaining it is our current customers, they use pen and paper to get control over their food inventory. So they buy food from their suppliers. So they use an online platform or they directly order from their suppliers. And then once the food gets to their actual location where they prep food and sell food, they start using pen and paper to do delivery control, check expiration dates, report on issues, manage their stock count, and so on. So there's a lot of manual work involved when the food hits the locations. So one of the things is that we basically just digitized all of those routines. And then we have provided them with a lot of reports and analytics that helps them know exactly what to order when things are about to expire. So they get notified prior to things expire, which means that they are able to sell it for full value instead of reducing the price or wasting it. And then we've also made it easy for them to report on to accounting and ESG reporting, because there's a lot of upcoming laws now when it comes to food waste, traceability, ESG reporting, the EU taxonomy. There's so much that the food service businesses and the food supply chain in general have to report on to have a license to operate, basically. So we're helping them with that.
And so, I mean, this is obviously a pretty big issue. You're talking about, you got billions of people on the planet all making food every day, and 1/3 of their food is going to rot or waste. How come no one else has addressed this? Or is there anyone else addressing this? And what have you figured out that others haven't?
So there's a lot of companies that are working on food waste, but the majority of the companies are working with measuring food waste and reporting on food waste, and they're not actually preventing it from happening, which is kind of where we set ourselves apart. We want to make sure that we actually prevent food waste from happening instead of only measuring it and reporting on it. So you have a lot of companies that, for example, has physical hardware like weights, where they have weights in the restaurant location and they weigh the food waste and then they get data based on that. But we actually take it one step back and make sure that we prevent it from even happening. And there's more and more companies coming up. I think food waste is a fairly kind of new space, and there's more capital now and there's more startups coming up in this field, but still there needs more companies working on the prevention side of things to make sure that we have the real effect that we've seen from our solution.